Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Drinks with Johnny. I'm here with my co-host, Sam the Hawk Hawkins. How are you today, my man?
I am doing fantastic. I'm very excited about this guest today. Today is my stepdad's 80th birthday, so after this, I'll be celebrating that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, stepdad. What's your stepdad's name?
Leon. Very 80-year-old name, Leon. I don't know.
Wow.
How many Leons do you know nowadays?
I know one now.
Do you? How old is he?
No, I'm saying yours.
Oh, right.
I know one now. I don't know any Leons. That's crazy. I know a lot of people, too. I don't think I've met a Leon.
Yeah.
It's also crazy that I didn't know you had a stepfather that was turning 80 that name was Leon. Like, we're good friends. Why don't I know these things? Because guys don't talk.
Because it's all about you. Look at the name of the show.
Yeah. It is. He's not wrong.
Well, before we go on to you, let's go on to you first. But I saw the Barbie movie, and I kind of want to talk about it. And if the guest has seen it, I'd like to ask his take on it.
I want to know how it was. I mean, you texted and said it was awesome. I'm out on the road, obviously, and well, not obviously, but yeah, I just woke up in Calgary, Canada. I'm actually at it looks like I'm at the bar at home, but I'm actually in a dressing room or wardrobe room right now.
So you said you were sleeping there. Did you just get there? Did you sleep there last night, or did you get there early?
It was only it was only a 3-hour drive. But we got in, and whenever it stopped, I woke up, and when you called me, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't set an alarm." So I ran into the venue and set up for this because I'm excited to talk to Jay. But yeah, that's literally how it is on the road. Is I wake up whenever the next day in the next venue. Most of the time, unless we have a day off, then I would be at a hotel. But right now, I'm actually at the arena.
Nice. So I heard you mentioned something about 120 degrees that you played in the other day.
Oh yeah, and that was in Chicago, man. I guess that was like a week ago now. 2 weeks, whatever. I've lost track of time, by the way.
Welcome to tour, right?
Yeah, it is the end of the tour, but yeah, just you can't keep track of days anymore. Yeah, in Chicago, it was like 95, 97 degrees outside at night, but with the humidity, it was reading at like 115.
Oh,
so it was.
And with the lights on stage and all that,
lights and everything running around, I was soaked by the end of the show. Like we were all hydrating like crazy. It was a great show. That was the one that Frankie got to see, my son, on this
nice.
tour. So that was really cool for me. It's always fun when he's in the crowd and I get to interact with him. He was walking down again, and I got to say hi and stuff. So.
Well, it's funny how it's like the hot girls when you're young. I was like, hey, lady, and now it's like. There's my son. Just the things change.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I still enjoy that too. I still say hi to all the girls, not just all the girls. I encompass everybody, all the girls, all the guys. I make sure I say hi to everybody that I can get their attention when I'm on stage.
Well, I saw a little clip that Avenged posted. I'm like, fucking Johnny's out there still passing out pics because that's what you are. You're the man of the people.
I am. I'm a man of the people, and the people love me. That's why they come here.
And your ego is very intact as well.
Yes, I'm very humble. I'm as humble as Andy Samberg in
Superstar?
Never Stop.
Or Popstar, yeah.
Popstar. That's an old reference now. I just realized that was an old reference. That movie feels like it was a couple years ago to me, but it's like it's coming up on like 8 years ago.
It's funny that you say that because that leads me. Let me let this dog out. Just 1 second.
Did you just say let me let this dog out? Sam just bailed on the beginning of this episode
house, obviously.
who let the dogs out?
Who?
That was so
we're
bad.
Dads. If we weren't that, we should. Well, that's why we got Jay coming on to do the comedy for us because this is.
Yeah,
bad.
we're not funny.
But I don't remember the actress's name. Is it America Fiera or whatever her name is? She's in Barbie. And I was looking at her, and she always seemed young, but she plays the mom. And to me, I'm just looking at that going, wow, I must be getting older, too. It's just funny when you have those level sets of where you're at in life, where that person that used to be the teenager is now the mom. And you're like, oh, well, hey, I'm older than that person. So that puts me even higher. Do you ever do that where you look at TV and you look on Google of how old someone is to kind of gauge where you are?
No,
with that?
I just watch reruns of Seinfeld and Friends so that I still feel the same age.
But don't you? Oh, okay. Friends is another one. I still feel like they all look older than me, even though I'm like 10 years older than them, just because in your mindset,
It's just in your mindset, but
Yeah.
like we're absolutely
Drastically.
look older than
Yeah.
them. They were in their late 20s, early 30s when they were
know.
doing that. That's
So crazy.
gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But the Barbie movie's great. I see the uproar from certain people about it.
what's
It's
the uproar? I haven't even heard any uproar.
Oh, just a lot of people of, it's very women empowerment and very like trying to change and how men kind of rule the world. But they do it in such a good way. And I just don't want to talk about it too much till you see it because I don't want to spoil any of it. But I've been getting kind of sick of the hype of seeing Barbie everywhere. But when you see the
I
movie,
like
you're
the
like,
hype.
You like it?
I love the hype. It's funny as I gotten older. Like I used to hate the hype about stuff, but now as I've gotten older, I see that someone's art and someone's created a piece of art as a team, whatever it is, and as a team they found the right people to promote it. And so to me, it's more of like just a growing up kind of thing and understanding how the industry works. I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. Like and they had cool campaigns. It was really smart too. I liked how everyone was on board. That they obviously had to guerrilla this, but everyone was doing their own Barbie memes everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm like, that's the new brilliance. And it is overkill for a lot of people because they're like, oh God, another Barbie meme. It's like, yeah, that's the world you guys created. So
Yeah.
fucking,
No, right.
that's the
Well,
only
it's all
way
our
we could get you. It's the only way we could reach you as artists. So yeah, that's what we're gonna fucking do.
It's smart. Well, I turned it on its head of being oversaturated with seeing stuff once I saw it because I don't think it's played up enough that it's a family movie, but it is very much like when we were kids and they put in jokes and like cartoons and stuff that are over the kids' heads, but like,
Yeah, absolutely. They still do that a
adults
little
get
bit, but yeah.
This one does a lot of those, but is a little less like trying to hide it in, which they straight up have there's a motherfucker that's bleeped out in it, which I was like, whoa, that's cool. But then my daughter told me, she goes, oh, it's PG-13, it's not PG. I was like, oh, and that's a smart move for Mattel Barbie is generational, right? It's been around forever. So to pigeonhole it into a kiddie thing, it's been done again. So why not move it to a different generation? And
I totally agree. Yeah. Hey, Jay's entering the room.
Let's let him in.
Let's let him in. Let's see what he thinks about
Let's
it.
See if
if he's seen it, I've already watched his comedy, man. If he's seen it, he's gonna have something to say about it.
I can't wait.
Let's see. He's coming in right now.
Jay, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You know what I don't like about Zoom though, while Jay's doing this, is I have the same thing. Every time you let me in, I have to turn on my camera. And I don't know why it can't
I didn't
just
make Zoom. Why are you
turn.
saying like I have to? I didn't fucking make Zoom, dude.
No, I know, but I'm just just saying. Jay, we were just talking about the Barbie movie. Did you by chance see it?
I did not, but it's hilarious. I live across the street from a movie theater in New York, and it is funny watching like piles of women and gay guys go in bright pink clothes to see this movie.
It's like a turnout. People are like dressing up for it. It's like super cosplay.
Yeah, I don't fully get it. I heard it was not bad, but I think they should have done more. I really love. Did you see the Brady Bunch movies they did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were good.
Those are hilarious because they completely made fun of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think this does that exactly.
Oh,
It's
it
just like
does.
sort of.
Well, you know what? I was just saying earlier, I was under the impression it was going to be more kiddie.
Yeah.
They straight say motherfucker and bleep it out in it. And I was like, oh.
Oh, really?
And they talk about beaching each other off in it. It's hilarious. So,
Jay, I have not seen it yet. I just woke up in Calgary. Sam is filling me in about this said movie. I do want to see it though.
You liked it when you saw it, Sam?
I liked it a lot. I went in there going, oh, okay, I'll go with the kids. And I was like, oh, most of these jokes are over the kids' head. It's more geared for
Adults.
And you can bring your kids. So they don't go it's PG-13. It's not R. It's not PG. It's right in the middle. So
Nice.
I don't know. They've got enough promotion lately, so I guess we can move on from that.
Yeah. Hey guys, Jay's here now.
What's up,
You feel
Jay?
like they've already listened to us talk whatever the hell we were just talking about. I don't know. I don't even know. But we got you on the show now, man, and I'm really excited about it.
Hell yeah, I was excited to do it.
So
Very
Johnny's on tour. I was listening to the Bonfire. You're going to some concerts right around now, right?
Yeah, we went last night to Metallica, Pantera, and then we're going tomorrow to Metallica Five Finger.
Nice.
Wait. Metallica is playing with Pantera one night and the next night with Five Finger?
Yeah. Yeah, no repeat openers, no repeat songs.
Wow. Where are they playing at?
MetLife Stadium, the old Meadowlands.
Oh, shit, yeah. That's really cool, man. Oh, you got a White Claw there. What time is it over there?
It's 2:30.
Too early for stupid questions, right?
No, not at all. It's called Drinks with Johnny, so I grabbed all of the only booze I had in the fridge was White Claw.
There's a watermelon White Claw.
You're going to do it.
We got to send over the watermelon Drinks with Johnny seltzer over there.
Yeah, we do. If you're a seltzer fan, we'll send that over.
Oh, yeah, I am for sure.
I got a coffee. I apologize. I'm not drinking with you. I got
No
a show
worries.
later.
I put my chai latte in the fridge because I wanted to look cool.
Oh man, just being on the show, it's already out the window that you're gonna look cool. Like,
Now this is awesome, man. I'm a huge fan. So,
oh man, thank you.
You said you had Snake Pit tickets, right? So did you buy those, or you score them, or how did you get those?
We Kale, the bass player from
nice.
Five Fingers, hooking us up with those. Last night, 10 of us went. We just had seats, but it was awesome. But yeah, I think we're going to the Snake Pit tomorrow night.
How do you know Chris?
I met the same way almost every comedian meets musicians. Craig Gass, does that name ring a bell?
No.
Craig Gass was and still he is sometimes still on the Howard Stern show, and he just knew how to like finagle in with musicians somehow. I don't know how it was. So when I first started comedy, Craig Gass took me I saw Pantera on their last Reinventing the Steel tour.
Oh shit.
And 1,000 things. In fact, last time Metallica was in MetLife, he got me in the Snake Pit too. And so when I was out in Vegas, he brought Chris out to my shows at the Comedy Club, and then I hooked Chris up for the Burt Kreischer big tour out in Vegas.
Oh, rad.
And stuff. And then I know a bunch of the people I know is because I had the opportunity to tour with Mayhem Fest twice and Korn individually once, doing comedy in front of them.
How was
you
that?
did the Mayhem? Wait. He did the Mayhem. I got to cut in here.
Yeah, go.
Sorry, Sam. Jay, you did the Mayhem twice. Where was one of the times when I did a Mayhem?
So you guys did, I think, one year that I was on, and I want to say it was the Korn Rob Zombie year. You guys did a one-off. I think one of the dates of the tour, like one or two of them only.
Oh, that's when we were. I think that's when we were just coming back on the cycle, and we wanted to hop on something. I do remember that. Yeah, because it was Korn. I remember they had like the oil rigs set up on their stage. Yep, I do remember that. Yeah,
the oil rig setup was pretty funny because that's where I got my comedy touring and music touring is obviously vastly different until you get, I guess, on that Burt Kreischer. There's multiple 18-wheelers and buses and stuff, but Korn, I remember the first like week of that tour, they had the big oil rigs up there, and then one day they just weren't there anymore. And I remember asking one of the stage guys, I'm like, "Where are they having the oil rigs?" They were like, "No one seems to be that stoked on them, and they're not going to pay for them anymore." And I didn't understand that like you pay for the band pays for their entire setup. I didn't know for some reason. I don't know what else I thought it was, but I just never pictured that like. See like Metallica last night with those screens and all the stuff they have. You're like, man, this is probably a fortune. They have
it is
4 drum kits, 4 drum techs, it's like so much going on.
Each time you go up in like a venue, like arenas, a stadium or theater, like whatever level you're at, each time it is an added cost every time. Like there's.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it was so funny. I was like, "Where are those cool oil rigs?" And they were like, "No one cared enough." Like he said, the audiences weren't going crazy when they started flaming, so he was like, "That's fine. We'll just put the backdrop behind us."
I thought it looked pretty cool. I remember watching it like for the one night. I was like,
cool.
"This is pretty fucking. This is different." I was into it.
Yeah, it was basically their album at the time that came out was Oildale.
That's right.
So like that was the gimmick behind it. But I went with them on like the smaller venue tour, the Ballroom Blitz tour I did with them. That was such a stripped down show, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun to do because comedically, that was a little more easy to do in these smaller venues, kind of capture the whole crowd and get at Mayhem Fest every day. They were like, what's this roadie grabbing a microphone and insulting us for? It took them a while to be like, and it's just like, I've done those venues for comedy before, like in comedy festivals and the Burt Kreischer thing and stuff like that. And like, it's great. It's so cool feeling that energy of laughter. But what's doing comedy on something like that, you definitely can get the front because they're paying attention. Some people yelling things at you, which I love because then I can like play off of them. But the best thing I love is on YouTube, you can find videos of me at Mayhem Fest, but it's somebody from the lawn like filming it. So it's from a million miles away. You can see how many thousands of people aren't paying attention. And then you almost just hear the murmuring of what a punchline sounds like. And I'll be like, and then you see the guy holding the camera go, ah. It's just one person paying attention to see.
There's got to be something you could do with that too, though. Later, you know what I mean? Like, I've heard that with we've had a few other comedians come on that have done tours like that before, and they speak to how difficult that is to try and bring comedy into a rock concert.
I would do it once I got the cool with the camera guys. They would put the cameras on for me when I was on stage. So we just all knew we were kind of waiting for somebody in the audience to be like, get the fuck off this, whatever, like yell, because they always did that. And I would just be like, oh, nice. And then I just start talking to that person and like just dismantling the way they look and whatever. And when the camera guys would put them on the screen, oh, it was great. Like, because then the whole crowd does get involved because they're like, oh yeah, fuck this guy. And then watching somebody trying to run away from a camera is great because they're trying to get, they're weaving through people and the camera guy just like slowly turning his hand. It takes nothing to follow a person with a camera.
Well, it's also different because it's not a comedy club, right? So they're not prepared to get shots fired at them. So
they don't even know. It's funny. Like if I went and did it again now, there'd be a good portion of the audience, I'd hope, that would like kind of know who and be like, oh, this is awesome. At the time, like no one, very few people, like a handful per show knew me from like stand up, but for the most part, nothing. So it really was that in the beginning, they're like, what's happening? Like the best set, I would do 3 sets a day on Mayhem Fest. The best one sometimes would be the noon. I'd go on first because whoever starts talking to a microphone first thing of a concert, the crowd's like stoked. Oh. And then by the second set, some people thought I was racist or fat phobic or some kind of something from what I said in the first time. So now there's
they didn't get the extra layers. I mean, that's true, but they didn't get the extra layers.
Because, guys, it's not just those things. No, but it's funny because by that time some of them made judgments on my stand up. So then I'd go on stage the second time to open the main stage. And it's kind of like a lot of going on in the audience at the same time, too. But then some people were like a little more in, but then also some people were definitely out. And then I would do 15 minutes before Rob Zombie went on. And then what they would do, Rob Zombie, the tour also, while they were great, and John Reese, I can never say enough good things about. He's been amazing. I
love John. Let's shout out John Reese for sure.
Shout out John Reese, man. He's been amazing to me. But comedy was not the important thing on that tour. Understood. I had no problem with that. And Rob Zombie, the only time they had for me to go up on that last set was before Rob Zombie. And Rob Zombie decided week 2, I don't like them seeing my like stuff getting set up. I want it to be the curtain pull surprise. And so for that reason, there was no set time of this happening. There was no warning, nothing. At some point in my longest set of the night on Mayhem Fest, a curtain would drop and just erase me completely. So I had to like.
That's gotta be so tough, though. I mean, it's funny that we're laughing about it now, but that must have been so tough.
I had to like almost like fake like anger every day to be like, what the fuck, like I couldn't really announce it was coming, so it would just happen. And then the crowd would sort of like cheer because no matter what's going on, they're going to cheer for like the worst thing happening. So they're cheering like almost laughing at me for that just happening. So then I had to kind of, learn how to be like this fucking tour. They don't give a shit about, then go out there and just try to own it a little bit. But that was so like, I remember the first day it happened, I called friends at home and I was like, this Guys, I just found out the worst thing that can happen to you during a comedy set is just get taken out by a 1,000-foot tarp.
And so does your friend like Bert like laugh at you when you have to do that kind of stuff? Did Bert ever do anything like that, Sam? I don't know. Like to my knowledge, I don't know.
I don't know. Jay would know
Opening
more
for bands? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Not that I could think of anything like that. I know there was some famous ones like, is it David Cross? I think always says something. I think he went out with like Nirvana a little bit, like in their heyday.
Didn't
Which, I thought I was
Bobcat too.
Bobcat go with that. I think they did Nirvana also. Yeah. What's so funny about that is like those stories have become with the internet so popular of knowing those things. When I went on tour with Korn, I was like, guys, I think I'm pioneering a thing here. Like, a comedian going out with musicians. I don't know, guys. I think I'm the first. Now it's like it's pretty commonplace. You know, the worst. I'm stoned, so I apologize if I'm rambling.
No,
But,
this
good.
is
We love it.
also love that. Love that you're crossfading right now. Love that you're worried about rambling. It's a podcast and you're the guest. You ramble as long as you want, brother.
Yeah, you're a tried and true on this, man. You teach us a thing or two on the podcast.
Actually, I do have to. I have to get up though because the lights just went out in this dressing room, so I got to go turn them back on. I don't know if you noticed
Okay.
it get a little darker for me.
No worries. Yep.
Speaking about podcasts, actually, I'll take the mic for a minute. So I saw Joey Diaz open for Wheeler Walker Jr. once.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, it was the weirdest thing. Side note: go into the bathroom. There was the hugest line for the men's room, and there was no one in line for the women's room. And these two ladies walk up and like, "Oh shit!" And then they look and like, "Why is it all dudes?" And we're like, "You're wide open," and they were just shocked.
Yeah.
But Joey Diaz had the same thing where me as a fan of Joey Diaz and not knowing he was going to be there, I was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "Shut the fuck up, everybody! I want to hear Joey Diaz."
Yeah,
but it's such a weird thing of conditioning people for a music setting to that. So it's interesting hearing your perspective of
The
that.
smaller event was great. If I didn't do that smaller venue first, I would have been lost because our first gig on the Mayhem Fest was San Bernardino, which was just huge. So
Open hell.
I was able to kind of figure out like you can always get the front, and the fear is always that they're going to start chanting a band's name over you.
Ooh.
But the only time that even sort of started to happen was Korn's small venue, thank God, in Bakersfield.
Oh,
You can't. Yeah,
Okay.
Bakersfield, tough.
It was so funny how I shut these guys down because I just happened, thank God, because you could lose that so quick. And these two guys, I saw them like almost look at each other and be like, when I was talking, just start going like, Korn, Korn, Korn. And it got to like 10 people or 15 people. And I was like, nah. I'm like, dude, the Korn's not waiting to come on stage and I'm holding them up. It's like me or a dude building a drum kit. So you're welcome, fuckface. And like, it kind of like brought the crowd around to like, oh yeah, I guess this is better than just waiting. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone's entertaining us.
That's funny.
But after I did the Korn and then the Korn with Mayhem Fest, that was 3 months straight on tour with those two things. And I came out, I was so excited. And then Korn a few months later was going out on it was Music as a Weapon, I want to say. Maybe it was them. It was Korn, Disturbed, In This Moment, and Seven Dust, I believe. And we
That's a great lineup. I don't think I knew about that one.
it was a good one. And then they go, I sort of got an offer where it was like, hey, or my manager at the time goes, hey, do you want to do another tour like with Korn and this Disturbed thing and stuff? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I do. And they were like, the only thing is like the money's going to be the same as the last time. I was pretty broke at this time. The money's going to be the same as last time, which was at the time seemed great. The money, you know, for me, it was.
Well, you're not a band. You're a single guy.
I'm
just
by
walking
myself,
up.
but it was a couple $100 a day and all tour expense. So when I came home, I came with the experience too, and getting out in front of all those people. There is some element of like love of the game and exposure. You know, you could take that exposure argument. So they were like, yeah, it's going to be, they came back, they go, it's going to be the same money as last time. I said, okay, that's fine. I go, I want to do it because I think now I have more of a grip on it. We're going back to smaller venues. It won't be like Mayhem Fest. So I can kind of like, you know, I'm ready for this now where it's like, well, I don't have to figure it out. I figured it out. Now let me go do it and kick ass. They go, all right, they come back and they go, actually, they said they're going to pay you less than last year, but all tour expenses. And I was like, less. And I was like, you know what? The exposure's worth it. I go, yeah, all right, tell them, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. Then they come back. there'd actually be no money, but tour expenses covered, but zero money at all. Like you'll just be on the tour for free, but like not making any money. And I talked it over with my ex-wife. You know, we had a pretty young child, but I was like, look, if I do, you know, if this, I got a few weekends I'm doing before I go away, we could sack that money. And you know, I don't know, is it worth me doing this again for that expense? And we just have a conversation about it. And I go, yeah, for sure. I'll do it for no money still. And then they came back and they just go, Disturbed doesn't want you on the tour.
Holy shit.
But here's what happened. I ended up interviewing Dave Draymond years later, which was fun to tell me. They actually invited me. I wasn't able to do it, but they invited me to play the House of Blues with them in Chicago, which would have been cool. It's like their homecoming show, but I wasn't able to do it. But I told them that story because I realized what was happening after that. They gave me every opportunity to have some self-pride. or any amount of like, just any amount of like ego to be like, hey man, I'm not gonna do. They gave me every chance to be like, no, I won't do that, and I just kept being a sucker, going, I'll do it. They should have tried. So you have to pay $100 a day, and I'd be like, can I afford $100 a day to be on the tour?
It's so funny though that you say that at the end of that, because the whole time you were describing that, I was thinking, Jay, don't do it. Jay, don't do it.
They're trying to let you off easy, dude. They were willing to let me go. Fuck that, man. You can't treat me like that. they were waiting amazing. For that. And I just kept going like, yes, master, I'll have another.
That's fucking funny. So what you mentioned at the top, we were talking about Metallica, MetLife, and you said this will be the third time you'll be seeing them at MetLife.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you were there when we played with them.
Did you? No. Were you guys there last time with them?
I think so. I think we did.
You didn't come for the
MetLife
opener. Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah, apparently not. We played MetLife.
No,
I've
seen you guys.
Maybe it wasn't the last time. Okay. Maybe it wasn't the last time that they played it, but
I may have missed their last time. Also,
yeah.
It was like I just know I've seen them at MetLife.
We did MetLife in
times.
2018, I believe it was 18.
Yeah, I saw you guys when they did it's such a cool venue too. Now it's not Governor's Island. It's somewhere over by upstate, like not upstate New York. It's like in that islands between Manhattan and the Bronx. Man, you guys, it was you, System of a Down, Uproar, maybe.
Was that Uproar? When we did System Ozfest, I think we were on
that's what it was. And it was Ozfest. I think it was an Ozfest without Ozzy.
Yeah. It was System Disturbed. We were like
that was exactly
the mystery.
it.
We were the mystery band that went on before Disturbed, and it was announced like the day before the tour started. It was a fun tour.
Yeah, that whole I love those things. The package deals are pretty great shows. Although I know as a performer and just doing the fully loaded, you really, when you look on the lineups each day and you're like, daytime, fuck. That's like the shitty. You guys have a thing that can work during the day, which is good. That's a very a good. I mean, everybody wants to play at night, but it is. We did a big thing on my radio show about this. It makes me laugh. We call it daytime evil. Just doesn't work. When the show presentation has a lot of evil, you guys know you guys like the music thumps, so it's and the performance can work in either one. I saw it was back just being a fan. I went to Ozfest when Cradle of Filth closed the second stage, and you're like,
wow,
it's amazing how not cool that looks in the daytime. Like you guys just look hot and uncomfortable.
Oh, dude, with all the makeup, all the garb,
just birds tweeting and flying by. You're like, what a lovely day. Cradle of Filth on stage.
That's literally every metal fest I've been on.
Licking swords.
There's
and shit.
always somebody, and I'm always like, God, that's a tough racket. Like we did makeup, we did daytime stuff, and we grew up through the Warped Tours before we did Ozfest and stuff.
Sure.
That's kind of where we were always a daytime band. We just tried to make the best of it. Always the goal is always to be the night band, like you said. But
yeah, of course. I saw
for a long time. You gotta earn your stripes, as they say, to get there.
For sure. Power Man 5000 and Mudvayne are the only two bands I saw where they had to break character at one point on stage and be like, hey, I got to go take this off, man. I'm going to pass out.
You saw it with both of them?
Both of them basically had a thigh. I mean,
was it Chad? Was it Chad that did that?
Chad came out on Ozfest in a gorilla costume.
Oh, that's such a bad idea, Chad. I'm sorry. If you're listening right now, Chad, I love you, but that's a terrible idea.
They were still doing makeup, right?
Yeah.
I believe they were still doing makeup, but his thing was just the face makeup, but he came out in a gorilla suit, but he wasn't prepared with other outfits. So when he went backstage, he came out, the rest of the guys are all in like, outfits and like, the whole look. And he just came out like in shorts and a tank top with his face makeup on because he had to take that gorilla costume off. And nothing else was ready yet because he had to come right back out and like finish a song. And then Power Man 5000, I mean, he was wearing a head to toe leather jumpsuit with the goggles on his head. This is back 98 or 99, I think. It was Summer Sanitarium tour.
Damn.
But goddamn,
wait, Summer Sanitarium tour. I'm figuring out how much of a Metallica fan you are.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I'm always been Metallica is such like a classic band. You know what I mean? It's almost like I love their music, but like if it makes sense, same reason I go see the Eagles, it's like the nostalgia, and then whatever. On that particular tour, I went not just for Metallica, but mainly I was psyched for Korn was on that and System of a Down, and that was the show where I have to say, love him or hate him, Kid Rock won me over on that tour. Young Kid Rock, man.
I was gonna say it's so funny because I saw Summer Sanitarium at the L.A. Coliseum. I was at the same tour. I was in high school at the time, and I remember my brother took me and allowed me to have a couple of drinks. Appreciate that. And then I remember that was Kid Rock was rad at that time on that show. They had the performance was next level for an opening band. Like he brought some production in there.
He's awesome. And he still had the Joey C with him and stuff. It was really cool. And I said, I was just impressed. Like he played every instrument. At that point on the show, he would play every instrument on stage. He would do. And what's funny is, so now I've done 2 shows for the Nashville Comedy Festival called Kid Rock's Comedy Jam. And the first year I did it, after the show, I don't know. He left pretty quick. Like everybody, there was an after party at his bar across the street from the Ryman Auditorium, and and he kind of left quick. So this time we did it again. He sent this. I have this. Here, actually, it's funny. I have this picture of us on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
At the Ryman, Shane Gillis, Theo Vaughn, Donnell Rawlings. After that one, I didn't see him at all. So they asked us to do the show again this year, and me and Robert Kelly, another legendary comic, went and we did the show, and then afterwards he was at the after party at his bar, and we're old, so when we were just kind of leaving after like a half hour, we're like, we should go say goodbye to him, and I don't know where we both whiffed so hard, like we went over and he goes, Kid Rock goes to me, he goes, Jay, come here, man, come over here for a second, and then I don't know why I just started rambling off every time I've seen him and how great it was when it was pathetic to say the least.
You fanboyed him?
You fanboyed him. Only.
Only fanboy. No.
Not one moment of like, it was great working with you. Hey, it's cool. 2 people in entertainment who, are aware of each other, admire each other. I saw you when you came out with Run DMC. And then the one time at Summer Sanitarium, and he was
you
cool.
Chris Farley'd it. You Chris Farley'd it from that
Farley
Saturday.
show completely. Remember when? Hey, remember when Joe C was there?
That was
I was
cool.
there too. Yeah, that was awesome. He goes. So I go. Okay. I go. Well, dude, it was great bullshit with you, man. We'll see you soon. Whatever. And I split. Bobby Kelly stays behind. And Bobby's a cigar guy. He loves cigars.
Oh, Kid's a cigar guy too.
So he's getting ready to walk out behind us, and he sees somebody hand Kid Rock a cigar. So Bobby goes, "Oh, here's my in to become great friends with Kid Rock." Kid Rock, Bobby brought 1 cigar that night for himself, and it's his favorite cigar, expensive. He goes over to Kid Rock and he pulls the cigar out and he goes, "Hey, Bobby," his name's Bob. "Hey, Bobby, He goes, I want you to have this, man. It's my favorite cigar. I brought an extra one for you. Lies. Says he brought an extra one for you. And Kid Rock just over his shoulder just goes, nah, I'm good, man. And then Bobby's just standing there holding it out like this. And then just some guy from Kid Rock's crew comes over. He goes, I'll take it. And just fucking Bobby's just standing there. Dude, he came outside and like he got like knocked out and woke up. He was just like, what happened back there?
But what I'm shocked about in that story is that kid said no to the cigar. I've seen like
it wasn't Dickie. He was just already smoking one.
Oh, he was already smoking one.
Well, that actually adds a little more to the story of why.
No. So somebody handed him one. So he was like, I mean, he wasn't smoking yet, but he had that one in his hand.
Right.
And Bobby was just kind of like, oh, dude, save that one. This one's like the best. And he was like, nah, I kind of only smoke these. It was just like he wasn't like she to him. It was just a dismissive, totally. Like just a basic like no. You know what I mean? Oh no, thank you, more or less. Right. And then the other guy just took it, and he said he had an extra, so it doesn't. You know, you can't go. Actually, dude, give me that back.
Right.
He just walked outside.
Dude, that's so funny.
We came back to the radio on Monday. We're like, what happened back there, man? Did we get dosed or something? We fell to pieces.
And so, and this was the second time you had done that with him.
Second time we did the show. The first time we like went to go bullshit with him.
So that's like, yeah, that's even better that you'd already done a show with them and then still stumbled over everything.
Oh yeah. I've been waiting for a year. I've been waiting since last year to tell you everything I've ever seen you in. I assume you probably want to hear that from everyone you ever meet.
Well,
what's Uncle Cracker like in real life?
We all love hearing that.
Well, you talk about Bobby. So you guys got that podcast together. I actually just made an action figure of him.
Oh, really?
I make custom action figures. And
Sam, are you telling Jay about an action figure you made for his co-host and not him? That's
I am.
So
it's
fucking
fine.
rude.
So Danny, you guys reached out and said, I forget his last name. It's Danny reached out saying,
Danny Braff.
Yeah, and
Danny Braff. That's Bobby's like assistant on his on dude podcast. Yeah. We do the bonfire together, me and Bobby.
Yeah, so I make this action figure, but the specifications are he's lost a lot of weight, so he wants to be skinny, but not too skinny. And then so now I'm like sitting there I made two action figures. I made one, I'm like, well, this one's skinny, but it doesn't look like him. And then I had another one, I was like, I don't want to get fat. But you and you guys are on the podcast together, and your guys' brand of humor is kind of similar where you guys poke fun at, but you guys have a heart a little bit.
Sure.
But your fans are hardcore.
Just a little bit. What was that?
So it's just, I'm trying to do it, and they're still just ripping into him. So, I mean, you guys, it's hard. It's got to be hard for you guys, right? Because
it's a weird
you guys
thing,
have
too.
hearts.
Also, when you have like multiple irons in the fire, I have like Legion of Skanks podcast. Mm-hmm. I do. It's its own kind of audience. Mm-hmm. Like that's like the swing. The other one's on Sirius. The bonfire with me and Bobby's on Sirius XM. So there's some sort of parameters. They let us roll. They don't really hold us back on anything. But like, I would know not to like, you could tell when there's something where you're like, well, this will probably get us in trouble if we say this, to avoid certain things because it is like a corporate thing there. But they really do go hands off, which is nice. But yeah, Bobby's nuts, man. Bobby lost like 100 pounds. He got the surgery.
Oh, is that what? Yeah, he's looking great, man. He's looking healthy.
He does look great. I'm taking Ozempic because I like to feel nauseous most of the time. Always.
Is that the shot one?
That's the shot weight loss thing. Yeah.
How's it working? Everyone I talk to loses weight on it.
I'm losing weight, but I'm nauseous most of the time.
Cool.
So it doesn't feel awesome, but clothes are fitting nice.
The sacrifices.
The sacrifice. People say, hey, Jay, can't you just not eat that much without giving yourself a needle in the stomach? And I say, 45 years would prove I cannot do that.
Right. My wife is always just like, hey, why don't you just, eat responsibly? I'm like, yeah. Okay, done. Like,
so your guys' wife or your wife and other people, Jay, are telling you, why can't you just, eat differently? I get it from my wife. Why can't you just drink differently?
I've heard it.
Dude, that's a hell of a case of memorabilia back there, man. That is wild.
Oh, that's fake. That's the Punk Rock Museum.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought that was your house.
No, I'm at my sister's house. We were just saying earlier, it's my stepdad's 80th birthday.
Really?
Mercifully.
Nice.
So sorry if there's background noise. I'm not in the normal setup.
No, not at
Johnny's
all.
on
You're
tour.
fine.
That's his normal bar. Next time you're in Orange County, you got to swing over and check it out.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Love to have you over. That'd
I'd love to.
be amazing.
That is that the 4 masks of the girls, the Russian
Masked
girls?
Intruder. It's all, yeah.
I thought that
I just
was
did it because the perspective looked like it. We had Fred Armisen on talking about the Punk Rock Museum, and
Oh yeah,
it
nice.
just worked out.
Yeah, he's such a good musician. Weirdly, huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's incredible. Well, it's
nice.
not even weirdly. We were talking to him about it. I didn't realize until I was doing research because I knew him from Saturday Night Live, and I told him, I was like, dude, I didn't realize how good of a musician you were because everyone just thinks of him from Saturday Night Live.
Sure.
He was a musician all the way up to that point. Like that's what he was doing. He was a drummer in multiple bands and playing guitar and stuff until he was into his 30s when he started comedy. That's wild.
It's infuriating because you feel like you can only really be good at one kind of art. Like if you're going to be really, really good at it, but he's really, really good at both things. That's such a pain in the ass.
For schlubs like us.
I would have loved, man, I'm so like envious of musical talent. Never put the work in to get any really. Minus minor. I could play along with a radio with drums. Basic like 4/4 time shit, but like nothing really that would mean anything. That's why I said those tours. The reason why I was going to take no money also to do those tours is because, and you know this too, access is everything at a concert. And I don't even mean like backstage. I remember when I was on Mayhem Fest, a girl flat out did the "I'll fuck you" to go backstage. Gorgeous. As we walked to the backstage gate, when we got to the cage, my conscience kicked in, and I went, "I'm gonna bring you back, but like, you don't have to fuck me to come back here or do anything like that." I go, "It's not what you're hoping for." Like,
wait, which
really,
part? The you fucking her or
no. Both, probably both. But I was just like, you guys have been back there 1,000 times. Like, you might see somebody at craft services in their sweatpants or whatever, but it's not really like. Whatever party you think's happening back there is just not happening. Really,
well, that is true, but I will say, I think, and this is back in the day. I haven't seen this in a long time, by the way, but like we're talking like 10, 15 years ago. I would say that said females that would do that, it wasn't their first time. If it makes your conscience feel any better, Jay, like it wasn't their first time saying that when getting back there.
Oh yeah, no, you're probably completely right. I mean, we hooked up. But
Were you married at the time? Or you did say you had an ex-wife, so.
Maybe. Yeah, I was married at the time.
Disturb broke that marriage.
I was married at the time.
Okay.
In fairness, though, when I went on those tours, my ex-wife, I will always give her credit. She goes, "Have fun, don't get a disease." So.
Hey, that's a good woman. That's a good woman.
It's pretty chill.
Yeah,
Is that C in the back for your lady now?
Huh?
Is that C in the back for your lady right now?
Oh yeah. She put this stuff. Yeah, this is our wall of stuff, and it was big dumb C. Christine.
It doesn't. You don't seem too stoked about that, Jay.
It also looks like a J. It looks like a J in reverse.
Oh, there you go.
All right. I see it.
Mirror
What is all that stuff though behind you? While we're on the subject.
Oh, there's a bunch of fan art they've made for us. You can see those little figurines. That's Christine, Dan Soder, and me from the things post-show posters, painting of Patrice O'Neill, who's legend. And then just like every gift my mom ever gives me that I never put anywhere, like a snow globe. But yeah, it's a lot of fan art stuff and everything that they make us.
That's rad.
Memorabilia.
So
album covers.
I don't need to stick on music here, but I did notice that there was something I saw that you worked with Shinedown on some show or something. I'm just thinking about, you're talking about a lot of past guests we've had here, a lot of mutual friends.
Oh, Shinedown. Yeah, I did I don't even know if they would remember this. It was more like they were like, sure, I guess you can do this. But I had a show concept years ago. Nothing ever happened from it. It was based off of a story I heard Bloodhound Gang tell on Howard Stern. And they were doing a show in Maryland, I think. And there was a guy outside who was a huge fan. He's like, I don't have tickets. I'll do anything to get in. I'll do anything. So then they told him to take a shit outside on a paper plate. And he did that. And he needed like X amount of tickets or something. And they were like, all right, for the next ticket, you got to pee on that shit. And he was like, all right. And then for like the last 2 tickets, you got to take a bite of it.
Oh.
He did all of those things, they said. And then, which I thought was like, wretched. You're like, oh my God. And then what made me laugh in that story was, he goes, and by the way, Howard, we're the Bloodhound Gang. Our tickets were like $10, like to get to, you know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, you know what it was? That dude just wanted to be a part of something, like, and he was willing to do this insane shit because he wanted to be a part of something. So I conceptualized a show called "I'm with the Band," and they Shinedown let us shoot the pilot with them in an Uproar date. We came out and did it, and it was just like, what would people do to meet these guys? And we got people to do some pretty gross shit, but it just wasn't like, we said bad producers and it wasn't put together well, but it was like to meet, what would they do to meet Shinedown? Yeah. I think we got like a guy to make out with a toothless, old, wacky looking lady in a porta potty while eating a hot dog. I think that was the grossest it's got. That was pretty gross.
I want to go back to the Bloodhound Gang story.
Yeah. I mean, how nuts is that?
Have you seen them live?
Wild, man.
I've never seen them live. No, I'm from Philly too, which is so like.
So I have.
So strange.
So quick story. I don't mean to keep doing this, but we have a friend, Johnny. I have a friend, Mo, and at the time I was like 21. I had just moved to Orange County, and we saw the Bloodhound Gang, and Mo brought her 12-year-old nephew who had never been to a concert before. So like, yeah, come out. We're gonna go see Bloodhound Gang. Yeah, they got that song that's on the radio. It's cool. So we go there. First song, they come out. The bassist beer bongs a whole bottle of Jaeger. They play the song. He then, before the next song starts, throws up on the singer. Just throws it all up on him. The singer plays the entire concert with throw up on him. And then they close it out with a "You and Me, Baby, Ain't Nothing But Mammals." And the bassist proceeds to get a blowjob, a flaccid blowjob from the fattest chick in the front.
He did have a whole thing of Jaeger, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, a little performance anxiety as well.
Yeah.
But then he was also looking down at that rock mountain, sucking his dick.
Rock mountain. I have not heard that term before, sir. Thank you for the new term today.
The fattest girl in the place. Oh yeah, looking down at that, sucking your dick. It just looks like a pile. Your dick's being fucked by a pile. How about those good old days, though? Now that poor girl who's in that cover band gets in trouble for peeing on a biker's face.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Get over it.
How was that a big deal? Like, Bloodhound Gang has been doing that since the mid '90s. Like
when that video came out. Now look, I'm not amped up getting pissed on my face at all.
But if someone else is, it would look consensual. It wasn't like she just fucking forced the dude to take a fucking load on the face.
Let's break this down, shall we? A super hot chick, and let's say this is your fantasy girl comes in and says, we're not gonna fuck. The closest we'll get to anything sexual is I'm gonna pee on your face, but in that you're gonna see my pussy and my butthole and the whole thing. Do you say yes? I go, yes, I would.
I have to really think about that one now. Now you brought up a very interesting scenario, and now I got to picture, 10 of my favorites, and say, would I do it? Yeah, man, I don't think I would.
No? All right. Okay.
So I got Sam, you got to weigh in. You got to, yeah.
In the face is a little. I'm not that hard up. Maybe in my 20s or something, when I was a little more hard up, I would do it. But I don't know, man. Like,
oh yeah, if we're talking I agree with that actually. If I was a younger man,
I 100% would when I was younger.
Yeah,
right, no doubt. I'm not gonna.
I would do it. Just be like, yeah, that would be fucking. Yeah, I would do it just for the hilarity and the story.
I was gonna say I wouldn't do it on a stage like that, but that's probably the best place to do it because at least then it's for like there's laughs involved and stuff too. But yeah, I used to ask that all the time too. I'm like, the prettiest girl you've ever seen in your life. The only way you're ever going to see her naked, just see her naked, is you're going to watch her take a shit. do you watch?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I do that. If you're watching something, but it's a little next level to, unless you're into the peeing, like which people are.
It's not that it's hot. Well, now we're taking a shit. Now we have her taking a shit.
Right. So you brought up a good point. I had this discussion with my wife literally last night about breastfeeding because she's like, "Oh, I didn't know this person," and she goes, it's just, you post this, and there's probably some guy getting off on it. I was like, yeah, maybe, yeah, that's true. She goes, "Oh, you wouldn't? Isn't that gross?" And I was like, "Well, with the baby lash on is not great, but to watch some chick shoot milk, like I would watch that." She goes, and she like freaked out. I'm like, you just don't understand. It doesn't compute to you. It's not like I'm sexually wanting that, but I would gladly watch something weird,
That's what I say about that. I go, look, see her naked.
Okay, corporate America, who I work with. Let's play this at the next meeting.
Oh my God, this is my favorite part of this episode. Is how you guys have gone into this. I love it.
Well,
sorry, go ahead, Jay.
Because you're just watching. You're just watching them take. Now, here's the double whammy on that. You watch a super hot girl take a shit. It really evens the playing field for some reason, too. You're like, this girl's attainable. She shits just like everybody. It's somehow, you guys will love this. When that first Korn tour, it was the Jägermeister music tour, what that was. And I was on a bus with 3 other guys only, and it was the Jägermeister like producers, I guess, that needed to be there for the tour. You set up everything every day. Great dude. We had the Jaeger machine, the Jaegerator on the bus.
I remember those.
Korn, those guys, but people would come hang on the bus afterwards. But always, every city there was a bunch of Jägermeister girls that would come on stage. I would even use them. I'd bring them on stage and do a shot with the crowd and like kind of make fun of the girls or make fun of the guys that liked the girls or whatever. And then afterwards, the producer guys would tell the Jaeger girls, come party on the bus. And we'd go. And I remember being on there one night and a girl asked for the bathroom. And she goes in the bathroom. And then, whatever point of time of night, an hour later, the bus driver comes to start setting the bus up to leave. And he just comes, an old man named Max, and he just comes on. He goes, "Who the hell took a shit in the bathroom?" And only one person went in the bathroom. It was this gorgeous girl. Girl. It was, but I was laughing so hard because I was just like, "Oh man, we can all fuck her now, probably." Hey, lady, remember you took a dump and everyone knows about it?
Oh, that's awful, but I love it. Like, I knew where that story was going because, after being on a tour bus, you don't go number 2 on a tour bus. It's just,
does anyone ever make the mistake?
I think people make the mistake on purpose sometimes.
It's a huge issue, I know.
Well, it's a huge issue for the driver. That's why they try to make it such a point,
Yeah, we found out.
Have they not made some like super smell vacuum that sucks it out by now? Like,
it's not that. No, they have it.
It's because it's sitting there.
You got a grinder. No, it's not every bus is equipped for it.
I gotcha.
Most, I'd say 95% of the buses are not equipped for it, but there are some that are. You just have to specifically get those ones.
Oh, they have like a new system that'll.
It's not that new. They've always had it. It's just they're called grinders. Well, this is awesome that we're talking about grinders on my podcast now. By the way,
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability. It's a whole other system that takes out like a little bay. Those underneath bays and stuff that for storage. So it takes out another one of those.
Yeah, put your suitcase down there next to the shit tank.
You guys remember when Dave Matthews Band got in trouble for like dumping his shit on a bridge back in the day? Bus?
You know what sucks about that? You know what really fucking sucks about that? Is it was not Dave Matthews Band's call. If you've ever been on a tour before, was just like some random fucking driver that didn't do his job properly. But it all comes back to fucking Dave Matthews.
Yeah, it also could have been
bus, took a shit.
It also could have been it also could have been bus 14 and he's on bus 1. Right.
No, he's got a fetish, dude. He's like, yeah, pour that shit in, and like.
We gotta get Dave. We gotta get Dave on the show and ask him about that for sure.
Dude, people, I've never, my dream, which I would love to, actually on the Burt tour, it was that, on it with like friends. It was just comics on this one bus. It was Burt's bus. But I've been on it with like, every other one I did besides that was crew. Whether it be Oddball Tour I did, which was John Reese also, that was the comedy one. And then Manfest, I was always on with crew. And man, when crew people don't get along or someone doesn't get along with the bus driver, man, what drama? I mean, that's like reality show drama. There was punches thrown on ones I was on, like crazy.
Dude, that's
shit.
not a bad. You just mentioned reality show style, like, and you were talking about the show you were going to do with the Shinedown guys. That's a show that you could, if you got people to sign off on it. You're absolutely right, because early days, our first times on buses, we had crew. You know, we only had. It was a much smaller production, basically. So we had crew living on the same bus with us. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, when they don't get along,
it goes like haywire.
You got to remember though, they're like, for people at home, these are a different breed. The roadies are just a fucking different breed of human being, and all the respect. I could never do what they do. They're some of the best professionals I've ever seen in my life sometimes, and some of the worst professionals I've ever seen in my life sometimes.
Yeah, like some of them are like up at 5 a.m. like exercising before they build the stage, and some of them are like drinking cough syrup all day and they're not sick.
You don't know. It takes some time to get the right crew. Let's put it that way. But
I bet, man, for sure. But it's funny though, no reality show. I don't know, maybe there's some more like darker stuff happening in reality TV, I guess now, but like a lot of them won't show it. We always said that, like, Bobby Kelly, my partner on the thing, was on a Tourgasm with Dane Cook years ago, and that was like filmed for HBO and everything. And every time they do like a comedy tour, I feel like, or a music tour, it's more so even comedy though. They like, whenever they film it and make a show out of it, it's not what it is. It shows them like, all right, hey guys, it's before the show, we go play paintball and we go horseback riding and we're doing this adventure today and that, and it's not really what it is. And I was like, the more interesting would be to follow like Dave Attell or somebody like that around the road. But I was like, but then no one will give access to that. No one's going to give access to like the darkness of the road also, which is actually the much more interesting thing, whether it's the loneliness.
I think Netflix would touch it. I think Netflix would fuck with it, because you've watched like some of the documentaries they've come out with, like, the tennis, the golf one,
the Untolds and stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's brilliant. I think that whoever that team is, I don't know swing and
I more don't know if the bands or the comics would let people have it, because it doesn't. You don't look great, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing. The road is like, it gets dark. Even if you're a relatively buoyant or happy person, there's just moments of it where it's like dark. You guys too. I've missed my daughter's birthdays. I've missed Thanksgivings. You know what I mean? Like things where you're like, and then it's like being on Thanksgiving. I've been in Canada on Thanksgiving, which is not their Thanksgiving.
Right.
So not only are you not present for a thing, but you're in a country that's not even acknowledging it at all. You're just kind of lonely. And so it's like those things happen. I think those are interesting things, but I don't know who gives that kind of access, Yeah. Everybody wants to be like, all right, guys, we're going on the lazy river today.
You gotta feel
it's
like
also reality TV's. Reality TV's all produced. Like, we all know that. Like, that's been the way beginning. Like, I used to argue with my wife about it, because she would watch the show, the OC, or not the OC. It was the other one that was on MTV, following the kids
Jersey Shore.
Following the kids from Laguna Hills.
Oh, Laguna Beach. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
OC.
And we ended up like through mutual friends, became acquaintances with one of the girls, and I kept telling her, I was like, she's even told me it's scripted. Like, this is not like, and she's like, she wouldn't believe it. And then that last episode, they opened up and they were on a set the whole fucking time. And I was like, dude, I told you, this is not how anyone lives.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's really like, it is. It is all. We just had the Jersey Shore people in the other day on our show.
And dude, how was that? When they did their first run years ago, the whole band, we would go over to Matt's house on whatever night it was and to have drinks and watch that when we were home, dude. We watched it live. Like, we didn't DVR it. We fucking went and watched it live because we couldn't believe what the fuck we were watching, especially with drinks and a bunch of friends like talking shit about it.
Oh,
dude,
they
I'm a big fan.
What's funny is they've all everyone's adults now. You know what I mean? It's so interesting.
Yeah.
They come in like Jay Wow brought her daughter in, like with her.
Nice.
The situation's sober and like a complete sober coach, like
Oh, good for him.
2 kids, wife. Paulie D's still living it. That guy's doing what he does. But
Good for him. Good for Paulie. Fist bump it. Fist bump it.
Yeah, he's out there DJing, which is what an interesting profession, man.
Right?
They figured it out. They're the influencers of music. Like there's some level skip they're able to do that just I don't understand. I really don't I don't fully get it. I'm sure there is a wild skill to it that I'm not getting.
Yeah.
But when I look at most of it from like backstage, especially if you get to see, you're like, you're just playing this list, man.
Yeah,
Like
some
list,
of it,
like
it just
is
depends.
done.
I think it depends on the DJ, and unfortunately, I think that the just like in any other genre, the fans may not know exactly how this artist is getting it done. So they're, it's not based on that appreciation for their talent. So sometimes it could just be a playlister, right? I don't consider that a DJ, but there's other guys out there that there is absolutely a skill and time and effort and, the greats, the
it
big
still
names
looks
are like
it still
that.
looks impossible to me when I see like, but this, I feel like that version of DJing is done like remember the movie Juice and stuff like that? Like the movie, like the hip hop DJing of like back in the day where you're actually mixing songs up on the fly with like vinyl and going back and forth was like,
Yeah.
And I know they have CDs now in the way they do it or tracks or however they do it. But I mean, still like the mixing in the moment is like, I don't see that much anymore. Like a real, going back and forth, making creative decisions on it. Just seems to be like this song into that song into this song.
Right. Well, I think a lot of it it's the pre-production on that. I think a lot of it is like they're sitting at home doing stuff. Once they're actually performing it in front of people, it is more or less like hitting some buttons and stuff. But like as far as like, but they have to create that playlist and everything.
Sure.
It does take especially if they're great at it. There's some talent going into it.
Does somebody just walk in and keep turning the lights off on you?
No, so that's fucking funny. I'm glad you brought it up.
Clap on.
No, there's a fucking motion sensor in this in this dressing room that it keeps. I think this is only the second time this has happened to me as far as, and it's only in Canada. We were just in Edmonton last night, and the same. Nice. I was walking around taking a shower and shit, and the lights turned off on me. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Have you seen the DJ Cummings or whatever where he's mixing? Like
no, that's one of your movies. That's one of your movies you watch with your tissues close by.
We just went to a DJ Cassidy's 50 years of hip hop celebration where that was what a show because it was like 30 people and it was literally past the mic. It was Kid and Play would come out and do a song and then they'd get out and then Brand Nubian came out and KRS-One, Rakim. It was awesome. It was one of the best shows.
There was only 30 people were there?
No. Like 30 performers, I mean.
Oh, 30 performers. I was like, it was that intimate too?
No,
I was like, no fucking way.
It was Radio City Music Hall a couple Fridays ago. It was it was Black Sheep came out, Naughty by Nature. It was really great. And I said everyone just does like one. I'm a huge Onyx fan. They came out.
Huh.
Dude,
it was pretty badass.
Blast from the past.
Are you born and raised in New York?
No, Philadelphia.
Until
then I was
you went to
22. I moved here. Yeah.
Sam mentioned that. I'm sorry. Yeah, But you've been working there. You've been working there, radio and everything since then, or when did you start on that?
We started our podcast about 12 years ago, Legion of Skanks, an SDR show I started about 10 years ago. That's where we interview like musicians and porn stars, the SDR show. And then the Bonfire has been going for a little over 8 years now. That's on Sirius XM. It was me and Dan Soder for like 7.5 years. Now Robert Kelly is taking over for Dan, and we're moving forward like that. But it's been I love it. I love this stuff. To me it's the same kick as stand-up broadcasting because it's immediate reaction, like stuff. You know what I mean? Like how much more fun is it doing a live show than recording your music in the studio? I mean, that there's something to that. It's a awesome like artistic release, but I mean, you want to go out there and fucking see people enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. I talk with other musicians about that on the road, and just like anyone who's been in front of a live audience knows that rush, and it's just different. And if you haven't, you don't get it. There's no way you'd ever understand it. Like I can't describe it to you. There's no words. Like it's just you get up there and you get that fucking feeling. Like that's not, you can't match that in the studio. The studio's nice and I love it. That's where you create. It's absolutely, like you said, the creative release. And then, but getting out on stage and seeing everyone is different.
It's the intrinsic difference, I think, with musicians and comedy, though. I would talk to Jonathan Davis about this a lot because I was always interested in it. Is he was like, it seems like like comedians want that feeling of going out on stage and everyone just like being like, fainting almost with excitement. Like, I can't believe these people are here. I can't believe, what I mean? Like my favorite song, how much music affects people and stuff and hits them in like the guts and means something to them, the emotions. Comedians don't like really hit exactly like that. You know what I mean? With like with an audience, but like there is, I'm stoned and I'm rambling and forgot my train of thought.
What's it like that with Bert on Bert's?
There's got to be some instances. I got to imagine like some of the.
I know what it was. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
like
all good.
He was saying musicians, like the comedians, like they're kind of envious that comedians could just hold a microphone and control a room of people with there's no crutch to it. But comedians so badly want that feeling of like walking on stage and having everybody yell back lyrics at you that you wrote, in the back of a car one day or something. And now it's like, it means so much to people. That's such a cool thing. But that is such a big difference. Yet, comedy just does it. I don't know if it hits people in like what it makes them feel in a time, but it's always happiness. Do you know what I mean? There's no like making them think it's not like sad times stuff. You know what I mean?
I find that interesting, though, because I think that's maybe a bit of a generalization. Because when I watch comedians, I don't know if I have a different way of thinking about it because for whatever reason. But I do think about like where those jokes or where those hits are coming from, especially sometimes when they go to the dark places in a joke, and then it's a good punchline and brings everyone back. But I'm like, you had to go down that rabbit hole by yourself and do that. Like that
it should be drawn from that for sure. But it's like the audiences, I think more music's just a different thing, man. Just the way it hits people. I
do know Jeff Dunham because our guitar player's dad, Brian Sr., was the guitar guy on Jeff Dunham tours for a few years. I don't remember how long it was. Whatever. I apologize.
Do you know Jeff Dunham or do you know jalapeno on a stick? That's one of his puppets. It's one of his puppets.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, no, I don't know. I know Jeff Dunham. I don't know jalapeno on a stick. I met Jeff Dunham a couple of times because of that connection. But people are, in some comedies realms, yelling back jokes to him. Or yelling back jokes to the comedians and stuff. And I heard that's like got to be the most frustrating thing. Or they want to hear that same joke that they tell every time. And I got to imagine that would be so frustrating as a comedian when you're just trying to vamp a little bit and just kind of go off and do your thing. And someone's like, tell me the joke that you wrote fucking 10 years ago and been toiling all the time.
Well, it does happen. People definitely want to hear best ofs. But I would say that tends to be people. I have comedy fans. Like my fans are very much comedy fans.
Right.
Not that Jeff Dunham's aren't, but Jeff Dunham's got like broad, he springs with a much like, wider brush of who he's able to hit. So they do. Brian Regan has that same problem, I feel. Not him, but like the situation he has to deal with a lot is they want to hear the Pop-Tarts joke from 1991.
Is it because they're cleaner, you think? Because
it's the comics, Sebastian, another comic. These are people who, their fans aren't comedy fans. They're fans of them. That specific person. So they want to hear the hits. So that's also the interesting thing. That's a big difference, I think, in comedy and music also that I think is tougher for musicians. I went with last night Metallica, great example. You guys want to hear a couple songs off 72 Seasons? The crowd was a little like, he goes, all right, how many of you guys bought 72? Don't ask that question, dude. And they're like, all right, I'm glad you guys are loving it. And here's the song. You're like, oh shit. It comes. But in comedy fans particularly, they always want to see what you're going to do next. And I think I find myself doing it. It's not even trying to be rude. I've been standing all day at this concert. My legs are killing me. all right, something off the new one. Like I'm gonna sit. Not that I'm not paying attention anymore. I'm still watching the show, but like that might be an idea. I take my sit down. You're like, damn it, man. If I was on stage though, I know you're like, can everybody please stand up for this one too?
Well,
like,
no, it's very interesting. I've seen it over the years, and the first time it was, when we were playing new stuff, and you got that kind of reaction, it was a little bit like, oh, what the fuck? No one's paying attention to what we're doing. It comes around though. Every new album we put out, it comes around. Like at first they're like, oh, it's the new album. I don't quite get it yet. It just takes them some time, and then by the next cycle, it's their favorite album, and the new one they're kind of not getting. So it's like, and I that's a generalization, of course, too. There's plenty of fans out there that are paying attention to the new stuff. But you're right, it is.
No, for sure.
It's tough because.
But in comedy, if real comedy fans they'll almost be annoyed where you're like, I know this bit already. You know what I mean? Like, I know from like front to back, I know this bit. So they're like, I want, like they want the newer stuff always. They would hope it's all new and maybe only one thing they've heard before. Where when a band goes out, they're like, I hope this is straight hits and then 2 new songs maybe. And it's like very like, and they're not like so they're not that they're not open to it, but a broad spectrum fan of rock across the border, metal, they know your hits. You know what I mean? They know your guys' hits. Even if they don't have all the albums, they know your hits. So it's like when it goes to like a deeper cut, they're the ones that are like, I don't know.
Yeah, which totally makes sense. I saw Prince play at the Orange County Grove, small venue, and he only played new songs. And for a lot of people there, I could see why they were bummed. But like for me, I was like, I'm 20 feet from fucking Prince. In my home county, I'm like, I stayed the entire fucking thing. It was just like mesmerized. I didn't know a single fucking song. I was not a fan of I knew zero of the new material, and I just stood there in awe. I was just like, this is just a badass performance. Like
Iron Maiden will do like every other tour. They'll just the new album. Like, wow,
yeah,
balls.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, and because
but I'll go. I'll go watch anything. I can get it. I said I'm a performer, so I also feel that kind of thing, and I know.
I think that probably helps.
The artistic thing of it, but I also get people just being like, "Dude, what?"
Yeah, no, it makes sense too. I get, like you said, you get both sides of it, right? It's like but
I got a question about your writing, if you don't mind, just similar to that, because you do so much crowd work. How much do you write of your set that you're like, I'm going to do this amount percentage and then the rest I'm just going to do? Or do you just wing it, filling out the show?
I write like that. I'm not a good pen to paper person at all. So if I have an idea before I get on stage, in that day or that week or something, I'll take the concept to the stage and just like talk it out and be like, I'll kind of find the funny in it. It's a funny story, But like I do that all through crowd work, though. Yeah, I talk to the crowd as much as possible, and let that be jumping off points, because that's how I write. And then I have from that, like I build jokes and concepts and stuff from that, and then I put that together and hopefully get like longer bits out of it and like pieces. But it's all done on stage, like very impromptu. I have a thing. I'm going on stage tonight. I haven't been on stage in like a week because it's just like circumstantially. But I've been dying. I'm just sitting on a thing where it's like, I know this. I'm trying to lose weight now. And I don't weigh myself. So I'm getting into not being humiliated at an amusement park weight where they make me leave a roller coaster. And I've got 3-4 things in the pocket I could tell you of times I've been asked to leave rides, or
oh no,
you have to shut the whole thing down and let me get off only. Like, oh,
that's I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. That brings us back to what I was saying. Like you had to go down that rabbit hole to be able to poke fun at it.
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh, look, I wasn't happy that day.
Fuck no, you weren't.
Did you ever been to the Mall of America?
Yeah, well, I was just there actually. I was just there with my family.
So they have an amusement park there, and
Nickelodeon.
Yep, Nickelodeon amusement park there. So one day we're in the hotel. The comedy club's in the mall, so they put us at the hotel attached to it. And one day I was like, oh, let's just get like a full day pass and we'll go ride the rides over there. Yeah, great, let's go. The first ride we get on is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder.
Oh,
It's got these 2 big things where you sit in a circle facing outward, and they go and they swing up. It looks awesome. we get this one. I pull it down. It's one of the newer harnesses because it pulls down, and when it stops on you, it seems locked. It's not going anywhere. They put everyone puts their thing down. They take the 5 minutes to check everyone's to make sure it's fine. They get to me. I'm last. We're like close to last. And it's locked. And the guy's going, I suck in a little bit. And he's trying to push it further in. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's locked, dude. It's good. And he's like, no. He's like looking at a thing above me that's telling him that it's not enough, I guess. And he's like, no, I have to get it like a little bit more. And we try a bit. And then he goes, sorry, man, I don't think it's going to work out. And they have to open up everybody's again. So I've slowed the process down 5 minutes. And then my girlfriend gets off the ride too. And I'm saying to her, I'm like, you don't have to get off the ride. And she's like, what, am I going to ride it by myself? And I'm getting mad at her, which is just misdirected anger because I'm just embarrassed. And I'm like, it's in my mind, it just looks like she's not big. She's like, sorry, everyone, my fat shit doesn't know how to control himself and we can't ride rides together. So it was even more of like a beacon, it looked like, of just her walking off with me. I'm like, stop walking off with me.
It's great to be able to laugh at it though, and you're losing the weight now. So
trying, yeah. What's so funny? I've never I shouldn't say that, but I've never. There's so many people I see in the world at my heaviest are like significantly heavier, and I'm like, oh, they just probably never try to get on the ride. I have all the stories of like being like, I'm not that fat, and then you're like, yes, you are.
we all like to think that we look better than we really do. I look in the mirror and go like, yeah.
Well, we were just talking before you came
good,
on about
like,
how we think looking at people on TV, and I'm constantly looking at their age of like, that person looks about my age. And I look up and I'm like, fuck, they're 10 years younger. And I'm like, God, I'm a lot older looking than I think I am.
Oh, I probably look as good as this guy. No, I don't.
So let's talk about your special real quick and then let you go. I was watching it a little bit, and funny enough, Sam asked about how you do the writing, and you said it's off the audience.
Yeah,
a lot. So how is it off the audience with the Michael Jackson bit that you had on there?
Like how did that come from being like a thing with you? I was just going to the audience and talking about the situation as it was. I think actually the conversation I started was more about like the hero, all of the heroes that we find that everyone's terrible now, quick.
Yeah,
but it used to be.
And then they get forgiven, and they get even bigger.
Yeah, they used to give you. They used to give you time to like, used to have time to love them only, unless you went to the Playboy Mansion. You didn't aware of like that side of Bill Cosby. You know what I mean? That's not really what you'd see. He's like the Cosby Show guy. So then you love him, and then you hear it. You're like, come on, man, what? And it's like he's just that nefarious, and he is. And same with Michael Jackson. It's like how much you just loved him. And then, even like I love him enough that when they were like, when he was alive and they were like, these boys are saying he molested them, like, shut up, you little shitheads.
Right.
Michael Jackson wouldn't do that. You should be so lucky to blow Michael Jackson. And then like, but then when that documentary came out, I'm like, how do you say it? I just believe him. I just believe those dudes completely.
You know what? I did find it a little interesting though. I think it's a shit situation all around. I'm not negating that, but it is also really tough that they came out with a documentary after a man has passed to really nail it in the coffin.
Well, they're doing that Hugh Hefner now.
That's tough for me, man, because it's like I don't think people are always as malicious as a story might make them sound.
I think a lot of like I said before, troubled people do troubled things. You know what I mean? Like they have their own fun. Yeah, Michael Jackson never got help because he employed a zillion people. So no one's gonna help. Prince, same thing. You know what I mean? Everyone's, you got it, Prince. Here's your fentanyl to go to bed.
Like fucking A, man. Yeah, no. And it's sad. It just, you look at the other side of it too. Like, yeah, there's victims. There's victims in all around in those situations. Like it's not just one or, and I don't mean to minimize victims or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that. It's just interesting to me for it to come out after someone's passed and they're like not really able to speak on it at all.
No, for sure. It just like, besmirches their legacy, I guess, ultimately. But Michael Jackson is also, like I said, no one intervened. So I believe he probably like hurt people for sure. But I tell you, a lot of the stuff, the blame never goes enough on like the parents of those kids. Like it shows like the parents are there supporting them as they tell their story now. It's like, where were these parents when Michael Jackson would be like, hey, I'm gonna go swimming with you, boy. I'm gonna take you guys a helicopter ride to the top of Mount Everest. Like, remember he was like drop the parents off like at the top of a mountain and be like, walk home, like while he fucks their kids.
Yeah, that's,
we're all parents here.
I
mean, before you have parents, you don't maybe think about that, but I don't care who the fuck you are. Like, I'm not just blindly letting my kids just go with whoever. You know what I mean? So you bring up a great point of where's the accountability really fall? You know what I mean? Like
those R. Kelly parents, those people are all like, they're like, well, look, when he said he just wanted her to move in for a little bit so they could make music together, like, I didn't know that was a problem to send my 15-year-old daughter there. I was like, what?
How did you not know that? Yeah,
even if it's positive intentions, you go, well, Mr. Kelly, appreciate the offer, but I think we'll just, we can have her come there to the studio every day and record music. I don't know if she has to like,
and I'll probably be there.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
I want to do this next song in the panties because that's the vibe.
Yeah. But again, it is a shit situation altogether because, like, maybe it was just pure ignorance, and we're laughing at the parents right now and saying, making kind of light of it, but at the same time, they were clearly ignorant to it. I don't know what their blindfold was.
They were taken care of, man. They were taken care of, and the kid didn't seem to be crying. So that's what it is. They're like, well, he seems to be having fun, so let's keep going. Yeah, dude, money. You grew up in L.A.?
Orange County, but south of LA. Yeah.
Okay. LA is a lot of bad things out there.
I don't like LA. I've been very vocal. I've had fun in LA. There's plenty of good stuff there too. But every time just driving in and out of it, I'm just like, yeah, this isn't for me. I'm staying in Orange County. I did consider moving to LA for a minute.
There's a thick line, I think, between like, encouraging your kids and like pushing them into something they probably shouldn't be into early. You know what I mean? I think LA's got too much of that. Like people, I remember when I was on a show called Z-Rock for a couple seasons, and it was about a band who, was trying to make it and played kids' birthday parties also. And they offered a couple times, my daughter was much younger at the time, and they were like, oh, like you could have your daughter come be like one of the kids at the birthday parties. And I started just watching them film that. And these kids, I mean, they're children, little children and having some jerk off assistant director be like, kids, quiet. And we need everybody sitting and blah, blah, blah. You're acting like you're having fun. Stop talking to each other. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to bring my daughter in. If you talk to her like that, I'm going to be like, hey man, she's 10, like chill out. Like she doesn't understand production.
Yeah, not only do they not understand production, they clearly don't have kids. They're in their 20s they're hustling. They don't have kids yet, so they don't understand that other side of it.
But a lot of the parents of the kids that were there come over and like almost side with the producer and be like, what do you do? You can't talk. We talked about this. You have to, you're like, damn,
God, that's awful.
This kid's situation sucks,
that's what happened with him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, he was fucked from day one. He didn't have a fucking chance. but it is wild when you think about that as parents and stuff. Because I even see that in sports and stuff in Huntington. I'm like, nah, don't talk to my kid like that. Like we're literally just exposing them to sports or something. If my son says he wants to go try something in acting or anything like that, sure, fucking let's go have fun with it. But the minute someone talks to him in a funny way, I'm grabbing him and walking away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, fuck this dude. It's a kid. He's just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Fuck that. But anyway, that's how I came to that Michael Jackson bit.
Wow, he came right back around with it, folks. That was fantastic. That's why
the special. It was we do it at our festival, which please, man, I tell any of you guys ever want to come to our festival in Vegas, man, it's a blast.
I'd love to.
It's this year, September 29th to October 1st. We have a very fun band playing the pre-party, actually.
Who?
I can't say because it's a surprise.
Oh, you're not allowed to say yet?
Can you bleep it before this goes out?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's September. That's the 28th, the pre-party. But it's September 29th to October 1st at Notoriety in Vegas. It's a comedy party, man. Everyone's we have the Shane Gillis's and.
So I hope I'm around there.
I hope I'm around there for that.
My buddy, when I mentioned that you were coming on, he's like, oh, and I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but we were also talking about Ari Shaffir and about the dosing incident. And I had no idea about it. And I've been listening. I went back and I watched. And Ari just seems like that next level guy where anytime I hear his name brought up, there's certain people you prank and other you don't. Like Johnny Knoxville, I watched the new prank show and Andre like shocked him, and Johnny Knoxville's not gonna let that go. I wouldn't mess with Johnny here. I've talked to my wife about trying to prank him because he likes pranks, and I'm like, but then it's never gonna end, and I'm always gonna be I'm gonna lose out on this.
Yeah. You'll be terrified always over your shoulder.
I'm the youngest of three brothers, so I love a good prank, and I'm gonna I won't give up.
Do you worry about that?
I will keep leveling up.
Safe space since the dosing incident.
No,
that's a big
Ari
topic
won't.
Too.
Ari won't do that again for sure. It was, I mean, to me, maybe anybody, maybe he will. I don't know. Ari is, he's an enigma. He really is. He's an interesting guy. One of my dearest friends. I love him so much with unconditionally. But yeah, he's the guy. It's like he has to do it. It has to be a problem. Then you have to say, don't do that again. You know what I mean? Like,
how was that being dosed? I've never done acid, so
I've never done it before either. Yeah, I've never done it before either. Here's the thing. I think the lucky thing with a lot of, I take Lexapro, like prescribed. I think that kills like the high of a lot of things. Or maybe I'm big and I just didn't take that much of it or whatever. It was diluted in the beer or whatever. But like, just the idea of doing it. In his defense, it was him. They were trying to dose him. Like my podcast partner. I didn't know that. And then he found out about that. And then when he saw this thing, he swapped beers. Yeah. With me, who knew nothing about it. So in his slight defense, he also may have think that I was involved because it was my show that was getting ready to do it to him.
Right.
And I've kind of made like peace with it in that way. Also, I mean, like, you know, profuse apologies from everyone involved to me. Like everyone felt terrible because I was like, that's what happened. It's so serious. It's so real when you hear me go, oh man, like why me, guys? Like why? Like I was like, why would you? It's like I'm the guy who would never do this to anybody. When it was discussed if we were going to do this to Ari because he did it to Bert, I was like, nah, I don't want to get involved in any of that dosing people, man. That's wild. And then it happened to me, which is very fitting of the Legion of Skanks. But it was Ari has been
insane though. When he pretended like he had it, I was like, oh, he's fucked.
Ari is. I said I want to write a book about him when he dies called Undercover Mensch, the story of Ari Shaffir, because for all the notorious things he's like done, I mean, he's been amazing to me in my career. I'm doing this for a long time, kind of about 25 years now, and it really like I didn't have like a Comedy Central. I had done like the half-hour special and the premium blends and all those kind of smaller shows and accomplishments over there, and they just stopped dealing with me because like I had a kid very young and I was present, so I didn't really do I'm going to go to LA for pilot season and sleep on someone's couch, and I kind of just had to keep working comedy where I was getting the money and the work. So I kind of put that all into that, and then I kind of fell off people's radar, not in New York locally at the clubs, but I just wasn't on anybody's radar. I was opening for Dave Attell all over the country a lot. At comedy clubs, he took care of me a lot. Patrice O'Neill, when he was alive, took care of me. But I was just kind of grinding out in these clubs, and I became friendly with Ari when he started coming to New York. And he just fought for me to like be on that storytelling show on Comedy Central. And he fought. Like he flew me out himself and put me up at his apartment. I stayed at his apartment with him because Comedy Central wasn't going to fly me out or give me anything extra like that. And he put me on that show, and I did well on that show, and it kind of put me back in their eyes. And, you know, I did his show every season after that. They gave me my hour special on Comedy Central. The first incarnation of The Bonfire, the Sirius XM show, was on Comedy Central Radio. So it's like Ari's one of the people. I mean, a lot of people have helped me. My career is helped for sure in so many ways, but Ari's done so much that you know, it's almost, he produced my new special, Dog Belly, what we just did at Skankfest. He produced it. He did so much for me in that it's one of those things you go, man, Ari's a great dude. And once in a while, he may do something terrible to you.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get, and that's a fantastic thing in a friend. You know,
aren't there people? You know, I used to about my friend when I was younger too, who like it was just the silliest thing of like a couple times we were all supposed to hang out with chicks. This is like teenager stuff. This is where I learned this lesson. And then sometimes he would just go he was like the driver, you know, he was the ride at one point. He would just go and like, oh, I can't get over there, and just do it himself. He'd fuck us over for chicks a few times. And we didn't talk for a little bit. And then at one point we were like calling each other again, like a little bit, and then hanging. And I missed him terribly, you know, and it became that thing where it's like, you could either be friends with this person and accept to either don't put yourself in the position where they can do this, or whatever, or you can't be friends with them anymore. And the same thing with Ari. It's like Ari will say, can I use your phone for 1 second? And you're like, you can't touch any of my stuff. Like, you can't go through anything. You can't. And he's like, okay, I won't. And he won't. Like, if he tells you. But if you just give him your phone blindly, he'll do what he has to do and then go on your Instagram and put out like a racist thing or something. You know, it's like, and you're going to be like, dude.
That sounds like so much fun to me.
No, it is. By the way, it is fun, and it's also, everyone knows Ari enough in my world, especially, to know that if you go, everybody, Ari got my phone, like it won't cause problems for me. It's just like that immediate moment. You're just like, that's the thing. So, I mean, Ari Shaffir's good outweighs his bad in tenfold. I'd say. You know, he's been an amazing friend to me. But yeah, you know, he's probably one of the only friends that you'd like forgive for dosing you with acid.
Yeah, that's a tough.
There's friends in my life where if they did that, I'd be like, that's not who I thought you are, and I can't be friends with you. But when it happened, you're like, that's exactly who Ari is.
Yeah, I should have seen that one coming.
I heard Bobby Lee talking about Ari and how he's scared of him, and to me, it was like Tupac and Biggie of the West Coast, East Coast, like craziest guys.
Well, the funniest thing is, Ari and Bobby Lee would have these huge like war. They were fighting over something, and Bobby's a little guy. Ari's a bigger, you know, he's tall, he's lanky, but he's like a tall guy, and he would just come furiously, physically attack Bobby Lee every time he'd see him at the Comedy Store for like a year, apparently. And how much we laughed at the concept. It's not cool at all. Yet the idea that Bobby Lee, they said he would show up to the Comedy Store, and like, because he looked at the lineup and saw that Ari wasn't on it, so he wasn't going to be there. So he would go and just drop his shoulders, and then as soon as he dropped his shoulders, like a crazy Jewish guy, like with a big beard, comes flying out of the darkness to attack you. Has to be a crazy thing happening. Talk about a metaphor for Hollywood, where Bobby Lee's just trying to make it, and then a crazy rabbi comes out of the darkness to attack you every 5 seconds.
That was one of my favorite parts of the conversation we've had today. Was that what do you call that analogy to Hollywood? I didn't say it. I'm just gonna, I didn't say it.
A lunatic bearded Jew comes out to attack.
I think on that note, we're going to let you go. But
man.
You got a show tonight. I got a show tonight. I'm sure we got stuff to do, man. But this has been absolutely amazing to have met you.
Thank you, guys.
We got to do this in in person next time,
man.
with or without the cameras and recording and stuff. So maybe I'll get out to Vegas for that festival. When was it again?
Please do September 29th to October 1st. 3-day comedy party, one location, a bunch of rooms. It's so fucking awesome. That's where we did my special. My special's on YouTube for completely free. Dog Belly. Watch it.
It's so
awesome,
good.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. Go check that out, man. And
Thank you
have
guys
a good
so
rest
much.
of your day. Yeah, appreciate you.
Take care.
Cheers.
Jay.
Be good, guys. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Well, that was nice. That was really fun. That was a fun conversation. What a great guest.
He's a great dude. Hopefully we get Ari. I know we've been kind of in talks. Just so many questions for that guy too. That East Coast, West Coast comedians are just such a different scene. The Legion of Skanks. Jay's just such a good dude. You can tell down deep, even though he's got the same sixth sense of humor that we all have, which is it's fun. He's a
multifaceted human beings. Everyone is, and
right.
You know,
exactly.
Yeah, you can't. I think it goes to what we were talking about when you have heroes on a pedestal too, or anything like that. It's like we're all just people, man. Just no idols, no idols in this life. Like there's no reason for it. Like we're all here doing our thing, and we're
all chicks taking dumps in the bus. That's what we are.
Way to bring it home, Sam. Well, on that note, I appreciate all you guys listening, watching at home. Love you all, and until next time, as always. Cheers.